Hey guys, I'm Jeff. It might be April Fools, but these games are no joke. Here are my picks for the best games coming out April of 2017. You know it's not your day when you finally escape the asylum overrun with homicidal maniacs, only to find yourself in a town overrun with homicidal religious extremists. That's the journey fans of the popular survival horror game Outlast can look forward to with this sequel. The plot takes a page from Resident Evil 7, in that you play a guy searching for his wife, but this time it's after a helicopter crash lands you in the desert somewhere in Arizona. The tension and excitement come from the aforementioned zealots chasing after you. But, just like in the first game, all you can do is run and hide. The found footage aesthetic returns, this time with some new mechanics. Being that the protagonist is a professional cameraman, your footage is now more crisp and complete with zoom. You can also activate an audio detection system that will pick up any distant footsteps or snapping twigs. Seriously though, this game looks absolutely terrifying. I mean, this alone. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. Gamers can look forward to getting freaked out again when Outlast 2 comes to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on April 25th. The next game on my list comes from the team behind Banjo-Kazooie, and boy does it show. You control both the mischievous characters of Yooka, a chameleon, and Laylee, a purple bat. Definitely a purple bat, not a dragon. Jump around, solve puzzles, race minecarts, play retro arcade games within the game. It just looks fun. It's that perfect kind of whimsical open-world platformer that feeds into your nostalgia. Still, the developers promise enough bells and whistles that it seems like it's going to take a while before the game gets repetitive. The epic score from Grant Kirkhope is dope too. The game also serves as an interesting bit of commentary on the last entry in the Banjo-Kazooie series, Nuts and Bolts. Fans and critics felt that the publishers had taken the franchise in a disappointing and unnecessary direction. The creators have made a conscious effort to rectify that with Yooka Laylee, calling it a spiritual successor and love letter to the beloved Banjo-Kazooie. Yooka Laylee arrives in stores on April 11th for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Celebrated video game writer and comic book artist Benoit Sokal is taking gamers on another adventure across distant lands in Syberia 3. Protagonist Kate Walker embarks on a new mystical journey that departs from the overarching story of the first two games. You can bet it'll still be set in a lively, puzzle-filled universe populated by some striking personalities. The avant-garde art style and steampunk atmosphere helped the first two Syberia games make a splash with players and critics. What stood out more prominently were the complex characters and rich story that Sokal is known for. French developer Microids have been pushing themselves in the 10 years since the last game, using motion capture and fully rendered real-time 3D graphics for the first time. Their aim is to make the gameplay more cinematic, so that the graphics support the story and are not outweighed by it. Hopefully, this will make for a more immersive experience for fans of the series, as well as players who may have shied away from the previous games. Syberia 3 jet sets to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on April 25th. The phrase highly anticipated only scratches the surface of how badly gamers have been chomping at the bit for Persona 5. At least those of us outside of Japan, where the game was released last year. The fifth chapter in the franchise carries over the amazing art style and turn-based battle systems from previous entries. Hopefully, these will all be boosted by the new engine that was built from the ground up for the game. Story-wise, you, as the silent protagonist, live a dual life. You're a troubled youth meandering through high school by day, but by night, you're a masked phantom thief with a mission to give the corrupted people of the world a literal change of heart. After awakening to your special persona powers, you and your group of friends band together and, with the help of a mobile app, transport yourselves inside people's hearts and steal their evil or debilitating qualities. If that sounds weird, you can thank the good people at Atlus, who, along with the other games in the series, developed the wonderfully trippy Catherine. Persona 5 hits the PS4 and PS3 on April 4th. Next up is a title I'm really just curious about in terms of how it will be received. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 has been getting some hate recently after the drop of the latest trailer, with gamers jokingly wondering if it's a PS2 game and labeling it a ripoff of Far Cry just with military assets. Then there's that tiny detail of being a tactical shooter that releases right after Sniper Elite 4 and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Of course, none of this confirms the game will be DOA. Looking it over, it seems like CI Games is pulling out all the stops. This is the first installment of the series to put the sniper in an open world. There's the scout mode mechanic, which highlights clues and peels your eyes for mines. There's also the new navigation system, which allows you to do more parkour-esque maneuvers. That said, it still doesn't sound like anything we haven't seen before in other games. Honestly, I'm not hating. If it has entertaining gameplay, then I'll be entertained playing the game. PS4, Xbox One, and PC gamers can lock and load on April 25th. Now comes the part of the list where our nightmares start having nightmares thanks to Little Nightmares. You assume the role of a kidnapped girl named Six, who has been taken to a dark, underwater world known as the Maw. As you traverse through the levels, you'll come upon bump-in-the-night fears from your childhood bedroom, armed with nothing but a lighter and whatever your mind can think to do given the circumstances. This feels like a demented, possessed step-sibling to last year's Unravel, if Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro had given birth to it. It looks to be an equally fresh and gorgeously realized puzzle platformer that tells a compelling story through simple gameplay. The game's sound design is also creepy as hell, and I cannot wait to hide under my bed from it. Little Nightmares is set to disturb owners of the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on April 28th. What? You thought I forgot it? I couldn't possibly make a top games of the month list and not put Mario in the top spot. Mario Kart 8 was critically praised as one of the greatest racing games of all time. So how have Nintendo improved upon it for the Deluxe Edition? By putting more into it, of course. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe not only includes all DLC from the original release, but 5 additional characters as well. King Boo, Drybones, Bowser Jr., and the Inkling kids from Splatoon. Players who felt battle mode was lazily worked into the original release can rejoice, as characters will now race in unique battle arenas instead of reusing the main race course. You can also now carry 2 items at once, including a slew of new items, so keep those shells and banana peels flying. The Nintendo team has also taken great lengths to improve the overall mechanics of the game, factoring in drifting, improved braking, and steer assist. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe crosses the finish line on April 28th, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. So, were there any games that I missed? Any on my list you think I got wrong? Let me know in the comments what games you're looking forward to this month. You're watching esports on PvP Live.